Welcome back to the Off the Line Performance YouTube channel. Behind me is an extremely clean VA chassis STI that we're going to be doing a 400 package on. Since you guys liked the 600 package on our low mile STI that we did, we're going to do one on this VA behind me. So let's go over what we're putting into it, what's already done to it, some of the reasons that we're putting some parts on, and sort of the power goals. All right, so under the hood, it's relatively stock, but we do have a couple cool bolt-ons. We have a Cobb bypass valve, a K&N cold air intake, and a Process West top mount. I've actually never used one of these, so I'm curious to see how it's gonna perform because although it is a 400 package, as we talked in the last video, we can kind of customize them to your individual goals, and if you already have some parts, there's no reason spending the money twice if what you already have is gonna be adequate for the power goals. So I'm curious to see what the Process West top mount will do. We usually use ETS ones, but this one should do just fine. Now let's check out what the parts pile looks like. We are going to be installing this Outfront Motorsports Virgin short block. This has a aftermarket piston and rod combination that we trust. Inside here we have some Outfront Motorsports spec connecting rods. They're H-beams, and then we have a CP piston. The reason that we're switching this over to a forged short block is because this car is pre-facelift. In 2017, all of the STIs switched over to what the aftermarket community calls the RA short block. It has a revised piston that's known to take a lot more abuse. This car does not have that updated piston, so we kind of steered this customer towards an aftermarket short block because we didn't want to have him throw the car together and then immediately have ringline failure like so many other STIs have in the past. So, supporting this short block, we are also going to do some ARP head studs. We're going to reuse his factory cylinder heads. This car runs and drives perfectly fine. He's going to get his old short block back and use it for a different project. But the ARP head studs are going to fasten his factory cylinder heads down, keep everything nice and tight. And then let's see what we got in our pile next to us. All right, from Cobb, we have their Cobb 20G turbocharger. We have a boost solenoid, we have an AOS, and we have a stainless steel up pipe. We have from Extreme Turbo Systems, one of their V2 max flow headers, one of the best headers on the market in my opinion. That is going to be feeding the 20G. We also have a Tomei silicone inlet. We have some fuel system parts. We have some injector housings, a new oil pump, a comp stage 2 clutch, and some flex fuel stuff. And of course, behind me, we have a Killer Bee pickup and baffle for the new short block. These are a must. Anytime you're modifying a Subaru, if your car does not have one of these, you should do it. Without further ado, I'm gonna get this stock long block ripped out so we can put some of this cool stuff on.
Better say something that would change my mind. Gotta give me something, 'cause I'm not blind. I don't know how to enjoy it. Every time you tell me it's not there, I suppose that we won't stand a chance. We won't stand a chance.
Okay, so as you saw, we got the engine out. Now we have to take everything that we're gonna reuse on this engine and switch it over to this engine. So I'm gonna start by pulling the intake manifold off. We'll get the turbo kit off. We're not gonna use really anything on the existing turbo kit, but we do need the cylinder heads. That's the most important part. So I gotta strip this thing all the way down, get the timing system off. Before I do that, to speed things up a little bit, tomorrow, I'm probably going to bolt the oil pump and the pickup and pan onto this engine. That way the silicone has time to set up and everything. So I'm gonna start with that, and then we'll start ripping everything off of this engine. I've heard of some people packing the pumps with Vaseline to build oil pressure. Never done that before. Never needed to do it. If you use a brand new oil pump and you know that it's good, so long as the engine's built correctly, and we use Outfront motors, so we know they're built correctly, should build oil pressure within 1 or 2 seconds to start up. So should not need to use Vaseline. More power to you if you do. I've never done it. So we are just going to get a nice even bead of silicone here on the pump surface, and I like to spread it around with my finger just a little bit just to make sure everything's evenly coated. Doing that has made it so I've never had one fail, so, or leak, I mean. And there is a O-ring on the block itself that I just set into place. Something like that. Okay. Now that I've got that sort of laid on, I'm just going to take my finger and I just kind of spread it around. I know it's messy and it doesn't look very good, but I've been doing this way for about 5 years and it seems to work absolutely perfect. Plus, this gives me the chance to get rid of any excess that, you know, if I put too much silicone down, I'd rather it smear out on my finger than chunk off inside the engine and go into the pickup. Just want a nice even layer like that, you know? I know the manual says to just do it in a bead and then bolt it on, but this way I ensure that it's going to get a nice even amount of silicone. When I'm spreading this around, I'm trying to not let any overlap into this hole right here. And we got our O-ring right here in the block. So we're just gonna set this right in. Okay. When I'm tightening down these 10 mils that hold on the oil pump, you're gonna do it in sort of a star pattern. That way it goes down nice and even. And don't worry, I'll bust out the torque wrench and torque all these down. I'm just torquing them to 10. Next up, got our Killer Bee pickup and baffle kit here. Biggest benefit to switching over to these, the factory pickup is known for cracking around the mating surface to the pump, and that's a fantastic way to lose oil pressure. So we switch all of them out and put these ones in. So this is your windage tray or your baffle. That just sets right in there. And then this is your ultimate oil pickup. Everything's all stainless steel and it's all TIG welded, so nothing's gonna crack or break or anything like that. When you're pulling this out, be sure to grab the O-ring out of the bag. This O-ring is the only thing that's gonna give you oil pressure. If you forget the O-ring, what if you're gonna spend about $7 grand if you forget the O-ring? So don't forget the O-ring. Another thing you're not gonna wanna forget is Loctite. Now I know that the manual doesn't require Loctite on these two bolts, but if you look at that engine, see that engine on the bench right there? That one is getting put together because someone didn't have Loctite in these, and the bolts fell out on the dyno and lost oil pressure. Okay. So we got our red Loctite right here. Don't need much, just a little, just a couple little, just like that. That much. That's all you need. And put those in there. Some people are curious as to the benefits of the Killer Bee big pan, because this pickup and windage tray is built for the factory oil pan, but they also have a cast aluminum larger capacity oil pan that's available. Those are a really, really good option for people that really work or push their cars really hard. Push their cars really hard. You know that one. More capacity in the oil system is going to mean that you're going to have more dissipation for contaminants. So if you get a little bit of gunk, sludge buildup, carbon, whatever might flake off and end up in the oil pan, having more capacity means that there's a less chance that it's going to end up somewhere important like an oil galley or something. There we go. Okay.
Later he calls us, he goes, yeah, dude, something's wrong with it. It's not running right.
All right, we're also going to do a brand new OEM oil pan. he doesn't race this thing, so we don't need to do a crazy big capacity pan, so just have a brand new OE1. It's a little early, but I am going to throw in our ARP head studs onto the deck surface just so it sort of protects it while I'm working around with this engine. But I'm going to throw these head studs in, the bores, and then just slide it off, and then we'll start tearing that one down. 4 different head stud options on our website. There is the ARP standard diameter 2000 material and the 625 material, and then there's also 1/2 inch in the other, 2000 and 625 as well. The 2000 ARP material is an extremely strong material. It's going to be good enough for 90% of the cars that we're putting together. The 625 Plus is a much harder material, so it's more expensive and it has more clamping force to it. But the standard diameter is what's going to fit in all of your EJs, but the 1/2 inch has to be machined, both the block and the heads as well. So if you're thinking about switching over to a 1/2 inch head stud, definitely go closed deck at the same time because it's kind of pointless to do an open deck 1/2 inch head stud motor. But standard diameter head studs are going to be good enough for around 500 horsepower. When people start getting up into the 650 range, that's when we recommend closed decking, and at that time you'd want to go to 1/2 inch. What we could, and what we needed to on the other short block, I'm going to get all this stuff off. The most important thing, like I said, is obviously the cylinder heads. So got to get everything off to get to the cylinder heads. So I'm going to start ripping all this stuff off.
If I have learned one thing, it's wasting time. I don't know how to enjoy it. Every time you tell me it's not there, I suppose that we won't stand a chance.
So I got the existing long block all the way torn down. Only thing I need to do now is pull these valve covers off, rip the heads off, and I'm going to transfer them over as I'm taking that off. That way I don't have to, bolt the cams down and do a bunch of other stuff. And then the only other thing I need to take off of this engine is the flywheel and I think this little coolant transfer hose here and some fittings on the bottom, little stuff. So if you do order a short block off of our website, doing this process is going to be exactly how you're going to put it together yourself. The short block is going to come assembled with the pistons, the rods, everything in it. All you're going to have to do is take your cylinder heads and bolt them on. If your car has spun a bearing or it has significant mileage on them, it's a very good idea to take these cylinder heads and send them to Outfront and let them go through them, clean them, make sure everything's flat, make sure all of the cam bores are nice and straight and round. But as mentioned, if you are doing this yourself and you're ordering off of our website, this video is going to be a fantastic guide on how you're going to do that because, yeah, you're going to do it exactly the way that I'm doing it in this video. So that is going to do it for this video. Next video, we're going to be dressing the new short block with these heads and putting everything together and then slapping it back in the car. If you're not wanting to do this yourself, you want to drop it off somewhere and have us do it, we're based in the Midwest. We're Central Iowa, right here in Des Moines. So if you're anywhere outside of the greater Midwest area, we're kind of your go-to. So hit us up. You can call us 515-513-6399, email us, or just stop by. And we'll see you there.